A very good evening to one and all. The picture there is quite symbolic of what is happening around, actually. This is the famous Jallikattu that happens inside Tamil Nadu, but there's very little information on it. Therefore, there are a lot of uninformed debates. I'd like to quote a Tamil poem, which came in one of the movies called Ravan, where the poet says, Jallikattil maadu kizhicha sariyum kodalai Malaiyur, meaning, in case the bull gores at me, the intestines that slide shall be my final garland. That is the rawness. And this is what many people in Madurai aspire. That they go, they prove their valor. But how is it interpreted otherwise, actually? This is where you see the conflict. People see what is happening there as conflict, but the conflict that resides in our media rooms is far more powerful. They have no idea why that is being held. They have no idea as to what happens beyond that gate. What you will be surprised to know is all those bulls roam around freely. The conditioned mind in an urban area feels that a bull has to be tied. And that is how it is scared. When the bull roams around, it doesn't have a problem. The other thing which many people do not understand is that the bull, which seems so vicious, so powerful, so aggressive, is often tamed by a woman. And that woman is the woman of that house who handles that bull. It only listens to her. The children come and they hug. But how does the media miss that touch? You know why? Because nobody wants to go and find out. Our holidays are spent in France and Spain and so on and so forth. But we have refused to go back to our hinterland, go back to our backyard and look and understand. That is why we started something which enables people to go to rural backyards. But when you go there, you find so many problems. There are problems, a plethora. People say, like, where do I get food? Where do I stay? What do I do? We say, everything is there. Look at that lady. Look at that smile. You think money can buy it? When that lady comes and says, Varaja, sabadla, which means, come my king, have food. Do you think you will complain about that food? Do you think when she offers the space in our house to stay, do you think you will complain? And these are exotic locations. Tamil Nadu is known for tourism, largely because of its temples. We are the only ones who do treks. Tamil Nadu, you will hardly know Ooty or Kodai. If you know a little more, you will know Yelagiri or Yerkad. We do 40 locations, actually, all on hilltops. If Kerala is God's own country, we are on this side. We are God's own backyard. And the backyard is more beautiful. That's the logic with which we started. When that lady offers you food, it will be so tasty. And food is not just the ingredients. It's also about the person who makes, how they serve. Now, this lady earns around 40 rupees a day doing that job. Look at the joy in her face. What can we do for her? Aren't we responsible that she just gets 40 rupees? Is that something we could do? That's what we pondered about. Look at this crazy guy. He goes and he climbs a cliff which is around how many meters? Sometimes even close to 1,000 feet, actually, with no safety gadget, nothing. He believes if the time comes, he will fall. He handles 3 equipments, hauls 1,000 kg of honey up. Guess who is the guy who holds him on the top? Any idea? Any guesses? Who will be holding him on the top? It's always the brother-in-law. You now know why. That is culture for you. That is the culture which we want to showcase. The brother-in-law holds on top. Now, if you look at this, there are at least 1 million bees around, actually. And he doesn't take any precautions. He doesn't have anything on him. The bee doesn't sting him. They say on an average, if 5 bees sting, that's good enough to knock you off. How does that happen? So I had called some of the representatives to give a talk in Chennai. And the educated crowd asked him, what do you do? The people said, we do puja. The silence was exactly like this. This happens. So how much will you pay for the jar of honey? How do you determine cost? What is its value? Honey is one of the purest things, and we have it often heat-treated. And the moment it is heated, it becomes poisonous. That's what Ayurveda says. And we have no clue about it. And we think there's honey in the jar which we get, 90% of which is heated and processed. Only raw honey has medicinal value. We just ape. We think honey is something sweet. That's how annulled our senses have become. And we go on the harbor, We go and ask him, bargain, how much? I'll give you 100 less, 50 less for this effort to get us pure honey, which is still a curative for a lot of medicines, of illness. What is this? This is the sowing pattern. Do you see any monoculture here? We go and impinge upon them. Tomorrow we become what? We become brand ambassadors, or otherwise, we become employees and go and tell them, brainwash them, follow me, I know more. I have spent more time in colleges. Look at this guy. This is a bird. I don't know how many of you know that. That's a painted stroke. So this has decided to settle in the outside of one guy's office. This painted stroke comes and welcomes every time he comes because they're so enamored by him. This guy's name is Balpandi. If you go to his office, it will be sitting outside. It has built a nest also there. It is refusing to fly anywhere. Now, what a sight. How much will you pay for it? You will actually see it getting excited. This is the stuff that we showcase. Now, if we have to do something, we said, first we will work in development, we will work in environment, we will do service, but we won't take money from that. We needed some money. So we said, what do we do? So our money will not come from the service that we do. Our money shall come from the commercial activities. And our commercial activity was tourism. When we started doing tourism, we said, how do we go about it? There were some cranky people who decided to come with us. And then we were more crankier than them. We said, we will not tell you where we are taking you. We were destination agnostic. We told them, we will not give you an itinerary. We told them, once you land, you can decide wherever to go within a certain radius, which is often 100 kilometers. Then people did come. And our prices were uniform. We said, for a 2-day trip, this is what it costs, no matter where you go. We broke all rules of standard formatted tourism, actually. We said, you come with me, I'll give you a hell of an experience. And you'll be thrilled about it. In fact, we wanted t-shirts. Our first t-shirt said, get lost, find yourself. Then we thought we'll limit ourselves to just get lost. The second, which we are planning, is to say, we take you on a ride and you pay for it. So then we came up with this idea of social holiday timeshares. Those were to institutionalize. We have done 5,000 people in the last 6 years. And more than that, we have covered 75 destinations in Tamil Nadu and 50 kilometers on the border. Why 50 kilometers on the border? I'll answer you off the stage. Okay, does it involve all stakeholders? It involves every damn stakeholder. The community as such, the environment, the individual who contributes, and also the visitor, the tourist. I have often noticed that people on different ends of the spectrum have very contrary opinions about each other, especially the economic spectrum. The poor and the rich have very mutual considerations for each other. They say, he will do anything for money. They say, the women don't have morals. Why did this happen? Because any transaction between them is often monetary. There is no transaction beyond money. We wanted to create those spaces of engagement. That's what we did. So what we said, those who want to go for a remote and exotic locations, please come with us. There are people in difficulty who would like to take your help. And for them, therefore, it became an exchange of wealth. One was monetary, another was natural and heritage. So there are limitations in engaging remote locations. For example, your cost of engagement is very high. But because the other guy pays for it, many of my explorations into other technologies as well as other goods and services was financed by them. So every trip becomes an exploration. There is a huge trust deficit because I go often there, I'm able to overcome it. Not only that, I get to explore a lot more. More than that, my travelers, co-travelers, see the transparency in operation. Urbanites are often willing to pay upfront for the future. Now what we are saying is, can you pay for your next 1 year of holiday? You pay me 10,000 rupees. You come for, say, two day holidays and 2 one-day holiday. But in case you are not able to come up, that goes to the people. And a part of it does come to me also. I also have to have my bread and butter. And people in remote areas often need very small investments. So now we have started going beyond tourism. We are exploring areas where there is business potential, where there is potential for the rich, for the poor, and therefore for us. What we are doing is we are probably the only guys who are doing raw honey, at least definitely in South India. And over and above it, we are also now getting into essential oils. These are basically things which grow up in a forest. There's a whole list of things which I can go on and on and on and on, but it takes some time for us to get deeper into each one of them. That person is the director of an international school. Look at how he is sharing. He insists that all his children go to such trips. And recently the parents are very worried that the places that they are going are unhygienic. The seniors came and said, this is what we want to do. This is how we want to do. I didn't go and I have to answer that. That is a Toda woman. Look at the shawl that she is wearing, the one on the red and black. And the other one is a customer. Don't you find that so beautiful that they're able to come and see the maker and talk to her and buy it from there? And what is more beautiful is that the maker gets an opportunity to see the one who is wearing. There is pride in work. People share. Then you don't negotiate. Then a lot of transactions happen. There is mutual goodwill which wins. In fact, it is these two clients who came back and funded us. They said, Sridhar, I am worried about you. I'll write a will, so please have a parcel of land. In fact, this happened. In fact, many of the clients who came repeatedly, they have come at 20 trips, 25 trips, who gave us money to start some of the initiatives. We never went to any government, any NGO, anybody to ask for money. We are more self-sustained in that way. Wouldn't you love to come and stay in a place like this? Local traditions are vanishing. This is a typical Toda hut, actually. And this is a community-based tourism which we are now getting into. So that the money goes much more larger. 30% of our revenue goes directly to the people. Now, with this model, it will increase to 50%, actually. And there is transparency. You come, you see it. That's what it is. There's nothing more. You talk to the people. These are the people from whom I buy honey. These are the people whom I buy spices. There is absolute transparency. You know what is my cost. What more can you want to know? So, how does this make long-term impact? Creates tremendous. Now we are looking at creating infrastructure a little higher, so that it's also a shared space between the rural and the urban. For the urban guy, it's a weekend resort. I would not call it a resort. We generally tell our client, look here, yeah, roof above your head is a luxury and a toilet is a super luxury. If you're interested, you come. We vet our clients. I'm really serious about it. In fact, we used to have it in bold. I mean, my website is down for more than a year now. And we tell our clients, in case you drink, I will leave you there and I will come back. This is like very categorical, actually. There is no confusion on that. Because on an average, we have some problems when people get drunk, and there are other issues also. So therefore, we are pretty strict about our clients. In fact, there is 3 days before the trip, we talk to them to find, are they worthy of coming with us, actually. There are larger issues which can be created if tourism is not regulated. There are issues there. We enable small investment. For somebody, 20,000 is not much. They can give it. And they do give it. Because of that, we are able to foster a small change. And that change over a period of time becomes huge. I still remember playfully buying some 200 kgs of honey simply because it won't get spoiled. Today, I think we do around 8 tons, I think, in a period of 3 years. So, and it literally flies. I mean, our execution is poor, our sales is non-existent, but products fly. Because there is transparency. Because they know that it goes back. Because that is the environment. They have come, they have met, they know the ethos and they know the problems of those people. I don't have to sell, actually. It ensures a lot of transparency in operations. Now, what does it do to the other community, actually, to the people there? So it revives traditional practice. This is something which I get worried. Most of your cues come from traditional Ayurveda and other stuff. Or still, they are the only repositories. Your Himalayas, your Dabur, still buy from them. There are a whole lot of people from Madurai who collect them. They are hunter-gatherers. They still give it. But they get a pittance for it, actually. Literally a pittance. But how do we do better then? There are people who are getting into formulations also. We create spaces for transaction, where storytelling, where traditional crafts are revived. That Toda hut which I showed you, that was done after a great degree of consultation and cajoling them to make it. They all said, oh, we have all forgotten. We don't even know how to make it and all that. Because now, because we are building it, now they say, no, it has to be traditional. The traditional house has an entry which is this small. They will only sit and crawl, otherwise you can't enter. So now we face a problem of a different kind. Whether we adhere to that or not, we'll again take another 6 months of consultation for just the frame of the door. It is time consuming, but unless you tell them, hey, look, it's your project. You are the leader. You decide. I will wait, because nothing earth-shattering is not going to happen. At max, you may pass away. That's all it is. The rest continues. Now let's come to this one. The reason why I keep coming back to this is like, there is no information exchange. There is nothing. There's nil knowledge, literally. I get worried when I take urban kids to rural India. I ask them, where do you get your rice? And brilliantly, one guy says, I get it from the wheat plant. These were stories which I heard that it happens in US when I was a child. Today, it happens in my own city. Versus when I go to more rural towns. I ask in Madurai, what is the difference between raw rice and what we call as parboiled rice. People have no clue. In Tanjavur, they don't know. I do a lot of college programs, actually. This is surprising. We do get to hear, where do you get milk? From the milkman. Is that the way that we want to bring the next generation? Is a question which has deeply bothered us, and that's why we went back. How many of us know that why this is happening? What is the reason behind it? What are the outside agents who are playing on it? There is no other way that you can save the bulls. If you want biodiversity, which we talk about so much, then there should also be diversity in the male species. And male species generally consumes more energy and more resources. How do you keep them safe? How many of you know how many bulls come for a Jallikattu? Any idea what is the number of bulls the Jallikattu will have? 4,000 to 5,000 bulls will be released in a day. How many men do you think they face? 100 to 150. Every 20 seconds a bull is released. Can you imagine that? Who is at greater danger, the bull or the individual? Bull literally plays 30 seconds on the field. That's it. And look at what we hear. Because what we hear is we think what is the truth which is being reported. Now, is there a better way to save? Do you know the difference between A1 milk and A2 milk, where A1 milk represents the Indian cow's milk, which is considered far, far, far superior to the A2 milk? We have no clue. We are not willing to go back and listen. We think rural India doesn't know. They are morons is what often you claim to hear. There is a very strong logic. This is a biocultural event which takes enormous amount of energy. It takes, and it also delivers. Otherwise, you are not going to have this kind of diversity. And the bull charges literally, and the gate is this small. And it's a 30-second engagement. And a person on an average faces at least 1,000 bulls, actually. And it's a very small area. It will be only this much. After that, the bull will run. Nobody is bothered once it crosses that area. This is the information asymmetry that we are having. Because we consider ourselves as learned. Because we consider we have the arrogance of a degree, actually. We are not willing to go and engage. Go and ask that lady, he will tell. Where are the medicines available? How do you formulate them? Even today, most of the resources are taken from them. Even today, most of your medicines come from those areas. But we are not willing to listen. There is so much wealth there, but it is not monetized because they don't know how to count. I recently encountered a stage where you ask them for money, they don't know how much. They cannot count, but they will say, we will give you, because honesty is their only wealth. They are not still corrupted. And I think it is our duty to preserve that innocence. With that, I close my talk. Thank you.